We're with Lyle Van Horn of the Sacramento Music Festival, which has been around an awfully long time, more than 4 decades. And Lyle, unfortunately, you're in at KFBK with an announcement none of us wants to hear. What's going on?
Well, as the member of the board of directors in the Sacramento Traditional Jazz Society and media and the public relations chair, unfortunately, with a sad heart, I'm here to announce that there will not be a music festival in 2018.
How come? What's going on? I mean, this has been going on for a long time. It's like it's a piece of, and it's an institution here in Sacramento like anything else. Why is it going away?
Well, there's a lot of things that we considered in this decision, and primarily that was the excess costs, talent included in those costs. The audience that was part of the Jazz Jubilee when we were the Jazz Jubilee has been shrinking over the last few years, and part of our attempt was to bring more of the younger audience in, which we were doing, but there's more competition on the weekend now with the for-profit festivals like Bottle Rock. Back in the beginning when this all started, we were pretty much the one. We were it. We were the thing that people went to in Old Town, and unfortunately the times have changed, and that's kind of where we're at.
Yeah, I know in my mind, and it goes back to the first time I lived in Sacramento when I was a kid and going to Sac State in the late 80s and early 90s. In my mind, it was the Playboy Jazz Festival, maybe the Newport Jazz Festival, New Orleans, and Sacramento were just massive. But you had mentioned it, you touched on it. How has that festival, your festival, changed over the years from that one that I remember from so long ago?
Well, in the beginning, it was the Sacramento Dixieland Jazz Festival, Dixieland Jubilee, and we changed it to jazz because that's really what it is. It's a traditional jazz, and over the years, it migrated with including other forms of jazz like Zydeco and Western jazz, and we included some Latino jazz types of all forms that really come from the same place. But a lot of the audience that was part of that traditional jazz, I hate to say, was getting older. And some of the new generation, the newer demographics, just didn't they didn't know the music, they didn't know the bands. I've never gone to the music festival and had somebody say I didn't have a good time. They always had a good time, but over the years there was competition. Like I said, Bottle Rock, things like that. So we started including some of the other genres with the idea of attracting those younger audiences in that would then be exposed to the jazz. We've even up to the last festival, it's still been somewhere in the neighborhood of about 80% was jazz of the music that was played, and so the intent was hopefully to bring people in and get exposed to that, and then start including that as part of the music that they would see. But unfortunately, we ran into the situation where people would buy admissions for just those special events because the price was right, and then they wouldn't include those other areas. So just over time, in trying to rework the recipe, it just didn't come out the way we would hoped to be able to sustain it at the same level that our attendees have gotten used to.
At its peak, how many people were coming?
Oh shoot! I believe we were in the neighborhood of 100,000 plus.
Yeah, and we're talking a slew of venues all over town too, if memory serves.
Oh, and in the beginning, I mean, you have to remember that when this started, Old Sacramento was really not the best place you wanted to be. It was, a lot of the buildings were need of repair, and it just seemed like the right place. With Sacramento's history, Mark Twain, the riverboats. I mean, Sacramento is a river city, and this was part of that history. So it just made sense to come in and bring this music to Old Sac, and we were actually part of what helped to renovate the city and make it the tourist attraction that people come to see now. And it was really over the years a big part of what the old Sacramento scene has been.
And I can remember the shuttle buses running from Old Sac to the convention center to the community center, just to make sure people could get back and forth and get to see all the music and hear all the music.
If you talk to some of the people that, and we still have a few of the original people that were part of the setting up the music festival, there was such a crowd down there. The police would actually come down with white gloves to kind of organize the audience. The participants, or the attendees. The streets would be so full you couldn't get through because there'd be so many people on the streets.
Yeah. Now, and you touched on people who helped out. It's an all volunteer job, isn't it?
It's an all volunteer job, and we have that's including people at my level that are involved in the management of it throughout the whole year. But we have in the neighborhood of 3,000 to 4,000 volunteers on a list, and generally that's about 2,200 to 2,500 that have volunteered in each year that have actually worked.
Yeah, I was going to say they've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah, and in the heyday when we were at the peak, there was even more than that because we had venues all over Sacramento, Cal Expo. It was a huge.
Yeah, it was. So, any hope that this thing might be resurrected in the future?
All I can say is that we're never going to say never. We can do some kind of form of the same type of festival in the future. And we will be doing, the STJS will be doing events during the year. We have events that we do now, and it's possible that we may come up with a different form or another of a festival. But right now we really just need to focus on getting through the music festival, the end of the music festival, and focus on the future of STJS and where we're going to go with it.
So there is not going to be one this coming Memorial Day then?
This coming Memorial Day there will not be a music festival.
Wow, hard to believe. All right, Lyle Van Horn with the Sacramento Music Festival, thank you.
Thank you.